People's Kid, how we doing? Back at you with another live stream. Hope this sounds okay. Hope we're feeling good. Before I get into a lot, because I got a lot to talk about today, I want to just do a few. I want to get a few checkpoints off my chest. The first thing is I want to apologize. I know this channel is just beginning. It's basically like a sister channel, if you will, for our main channel. But I wasn't really able to upload. I think I uploaded like 1 or 2 videos this week. I had a thing at work where I had to cover for a colleague of mine who was sick, and I had to run all of his classes at night. So not only could I not really upload, but I really didn't get a chance to watch many games. That will not happen again. I apologize. From now on, starting after tomorrow, which is Mother's Day, because I'll be busy tomorrow for Mother's Day, hanging out with my mom and grandma. After tomorrow, so starting Monday, I will have at least one video after every conference finals game. Whether it's a funny commentary video, whether it's serious breakdown, something like that. I will make sure that is done, completed. A lot of my friends have been watching the commentary videos that I do. They like them. They say they're funny. Keep making them. And I will this week. Starting Monday, every conference final game will come with a video. The other thing, what else I want to say? Oh, and like I said, our bigger channel, like our parent channel, is doing really well. Thanks to my partner. If you haven't checked out his videos yet on the People's Kid, this is TPK Daily. We have the People's Kid channel. Check those out. His videos are really cool. He just uploaded one, I believe, yesterday or last night. Really informative, really good stuff. So check that out. With that being said, I got a lot to get off my chest. Sorry if I'm screaming. Put in earphones. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. I'm irritated. And to be honest, I'm a bit curious. Let's start with the title and the thumbnail of this stream. James Harden. Holy Toledo. I was somebody that defended James Harden all season. I even made a video on our other channel saying why he should be the MVP of the league. What did he do? He effed me over. James Harden, if you're just tuning in Game 5 against the Spurs, was having a great game, and he disappeared late in the fourth quarter and overtime, made crucial turnover after crucial turnover, costing the Rockets what probably would have won them the game and won them the series. Then in Game 6, with no Kawhi Leonard, no Tony Parker, the Spurs and Gregg Popovich basically conceding the game, saying, yeah, we want to just get Kawhi some extra rest because we know we're going to need him Sunday, whether it's for Game 7 or Game 1 of the conference finals. Basically saying, let's just go in there, play hard, see what happens. Here, Houston, take this. We'll see you Sunday. James Harden scores 10 points. 10 points. 10 points. Not only does he score 10 points, he didn't take a shot till midway through the second quarter. What the hell's with that? Oh my God! What happened? When I watched the first quarter of the game, I said out loud, he must be being paid a ton of money to do this. This is no joke. I'm a diehard Cub fan. I don't believe in curses anymore because the Cubs are World Series champions. But I really am starting to believe in this little B curse. If Kevin Durant ends up choking in the NBA Finals, I'm going to think that this guy's some type of god because that really made me believe that there's a curse. If you're not familiar, there's this rapper, whatever, Little B, he curses people, blah, blah. And James Harden's one of them. I mean, I literally said to myself, the only possible way that I could at least wrap my head around this is that James Harden was playing concussed because he hurt his head in Game 5 and he looked dazed. And then in his post-game interview, he was like, his nose was running. He looked awful. Here's a guy, every game this entire season has been at the forefront of all the Rockets' success and failures. And then in the must-win game, in a Game 6, what does he do? Doesn't take a shot to start the first quarter? That's one of those games where if I'm James Harden and I have his type of ability, I'm saying, look, let's not even give this team an inkling of hope that they could win Game 6 without Kawhi Leonard. Let's jump on them early. I'm taking like 8, 9, 10 shots in the first quarter, being up 15, 20 and putting them away. Pathetic. Pathetic performance. Lost a ton of respect for James Harden, and I gained so much for him this season. Pathetic. Absolutely, wholeheartedly pathetic. I'm not a John Wall fan. In fact, I was ripped apart by a couple people on this channel for making a who's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference video, and I decided on Kyrie Irving over John Wall for a multitude of different reasons. Just to make it short, I think if John Wall's on the Cavs, they're not NBA champions. Things like that, just short things like that. And I'll admit that was a very minority type opinion. But I at least respect John Wall. At least last night, he took the big shot. Now, he made it, which is great, but I at least respect him for taking it. He went 8 of 25. But listen, he took 25 shots. I respect that. Even they won that game. If they lost that game, he was going down with a fight. He was saying, look, I go 8 of 25. I can live with that. But James Harden, no shots through the first quarter and a half? Oh, my. Very disappointing. Some other check notes about this Rockets collapse. Mike D'Antoni came out and said, I believe it was yesterday, we'll probably have to rest him more during the regular season, which really isn't good for the NBA, let alone, all of us, because LeBron and all these guys that were rested in the regular season are all performing great, which is proving that the resting is really important. But at the same time, here I am saying in 1996, 1997, 1998, Michael Jordan missed like 3 regular season games total. And I'm somebody that actually is on the new school side of the argument. I used to be on the old school about it, but my partner Kobe actually really convinced me, new school, it's the better product, it's the better players. But man, if you have to sit out 10 games a year to be at your best in the playoffs, are you really better than the old school guys? I mean, Michael Jordan, in his last year with the Bulls, I think he played 81 games. Come on, man. That's not what it is. James Harden choked. He choked. The moment got too big for him. In Golden State 2 years ago, he choked then too. He's too good of a player. He choked. It's one thing to play poorly, and I hate using the C word, the choke word, because I think it's unfair. I think it's disrespectful to somebody of James Harden's quality. But in this sense, it really does apply. He choked. It's one thing, like I said, if he went 7 of 29, 9 of 33, man, he just had a really bad game at the wrong time. But when you stop shooting, when you stop trying to create, when you're making extra passes out of bounds because you're afraid to make the big play, make the big shot, the moment's gotten too big for you. He choked. He choked. We talk about LeBron in the 2011 NBA Finals all the time. This was 10 times worse than that. 10 times worse. I like James Harden. I think he's an unbelievable player. Really just an amazing talent. I really hope that he takes a step back, because this isn't the first time, guys. Go back and look at the NBA Finals between the Thunder and Heat in 2012. Kevin Durant averaged 31 in that series on about 56% shooting. Russell Westbrook had his ups and downs, but he was Westbrook. The one guy that didn't deliver, James Harden. James Harden. Game 6 versus the LA Clippers, the infamous, if you're an LA Clipper fan, comeback by the Rockets. James Harden's on the bench the entire time. Josh Smith's leading that cavalry. That same season against the Golden State Warriors, James Harden sets a record for postseason turnovers in an elimination game in Golden State, in a game that they should have won. It's a trend. It's not a good one. It's not good. It's not good. Exactly. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I'm embarrassed. And I want to apologize to Russell Westbrook publicly on the air. I don't care that nobody's watching this. I'm going to apologize on the air to even insinuate that this guy should have been the MVP. My bad. Won't happen again. Don't worry. Transitioning. This is now my 3rd week doing this. I like doing it. I want to talk about my 5 best players in the NBA playoffs. What's the rule? The rule is you have to still be alive. You have to still be alive. Number 1, LeBron James. Número 2. This was tough. But he had a really big shot yesterday, and I respect him for it, John Wall. If John Wall wants to remain number 2 on this playoff list, he's got to go into Boston tomorrow and find a way to get a win. Gut says he doesn't. Number 3, Draymond Green. You say to yourself, what? Where's Kawhi Leonard? I'll tell you where Kawhi Leonard is. On the bench, watching his team win by 40 in an elimination game without him. Draymond Green has been the most consistent player on the Golden State Warriors throughout the entire playoffs, and they've dominated each game. He belongs in this list. Number 4, Kawhi Leonard. Why Kawhi Leonard at number 4? He was number 2 all the way up until he hurt his ankle. The Spurs have proven that they could win without him, but they're going to need him against the Golden State Warriors, and he still put together a fantastic postseason. And number 5, stuck between Isaiah Thomas and Kevin Durant, so I'm going to mention them both. Isaiah Thomas because he had that 53-point game. By the way, Avery Bradley almost made this list. That's how well he's been playing. But Isaiah Thomas had that legendary 53-point game, and they almost closed out the Wizards last night, but John Wall hit that big shot. I expect Isaiah Thomas to leap on this list after taking care of business tomorrow. And Kevin Durant, pretty simple, just because he had a huge Game 3 against the Jazz in a game where the Golden State Warriors would have lost if he wasn't on the team. They would have lost this game last year. He had 38 points, 13 rebounds, vintage Kevin Durant game, and it was a significant game to remind the world, hey guys, I'm still Kevin Durant and really good, and which makes the Warriors really, really scary. So that's that list. Like I said, it's subject to change. I really do want to get into my next topic, and it has to do obviously with this topic, and that's Gregg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs. Many a time I've been accused of underrating Tim Duncan and his greatness. I think it's absolute ludicrous to put Tim Duncan in the same sentence with a guy like LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. I think it's ludicrous. Why? Because of his head coach. And I understand that that is a really tough statement. But Gregg Popovich has proven time and time again, whether it's Tim Duncan, whether it's Kawhi Leonard, whether it's David Robinson, whether it's Manu Ginobili, whether it's Tony Parker, he's going to win regardless. Regardless. He went into Houston, a team that almost won 60 games. They might have. I don't even know what the record was. In a Game 6 without his starting point guard and Kawhi Leonard. And many people were pitching me, hey, Sam, look at Kawhi Leonard's supporting cast this year. He won 62 games, I think it was, with that supporting cast, or 61, whatever it was. He won 60-plus games with a supporting cast that was kind of weak. LaMarcus Aldridge was kind of weak. And I was thinking, yeah, man, this guy really is unbelievable. But then I said, is it Kawhi or is it Pop? Is it Kawhi or is it Pop? The answer, Pop. Game 5, 2-2 series. Kawhi Leonard sits out the overtime. The Spurs just find a way. Game 6 in Houston. No Kawhi, no Tony Parker. They win by 40. This guy is the greatest coach in the history of pro basketball. I'm not going to get into the debate whether he's better than college coaches because that's a slippery slope and I don't want to fall on my face. But don't tell me that Phil Jackson is in this class. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Gregg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs are Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots of this sport. Year in and year out, no matter what the changes are. It's almost like Gregg Popovich, it's almost like LeBron. No matter what changes around him, the game changes. It's become more three-point centric. Well, we're going to go smaller. We're going to play less bigs. Boom. Pop's winning 60. He's won 50 games like 19 years in a row. Jesus H. Christ. I mean, let's call it what it is. He's the best coach in NBA history, bar none. And unfortunately, guys like Kawhi Leonard and guys like Tim Duncan, superstars of this game, have to be nipped at a little bit, because we all know that if they weren't there, this team would still have great success. And I'm somebody that loves to judge talent by saying, okay, if you take this guy away, where are they? If you take LeBron off the Cavs, oh, Nelly. If you take Peyton Manning off of his Colts teams in his prime, oh boy. And that's why I'm still somebody that believes Peyton Manning's just as much of a talent and just as good as a quarterback with Tom Brady. Peyton Manning doesn't need a Bill Belichick. He doesn't need a system. Peyton Manning is his own system. You take away Kawhi Leonard from the Spurs, they're still really, really good. You take away Tom Brady from the New England Patriots in 2001, I still think they have a couple of Super Bowls under their belt because Bill Belichick's going to find a way. Now, to Brady's credit, would they have, 5? No. But they'd have a lot. I just think that this guy is world class, and the only guy I've ever seen like him is Bill Belichick. And it's unbelievable. The game adjusts around him, and he's phenomenal. And I just wanted to give a tip of the cap to Gregg Popovich for his greatness. And real quick, I want to preview the next couple NBA games. We got the Warriors and Spurs. The one thing I'll say is coaching only can get you so far. And the Spurs just do not have the players to compete with the Golden State Warriors. I think the Warriors win in 5 games. I'm going to give the Spurs one home game because of the greatness of Popovich, and I think he finds a way. Warriors in 5. I like the Celtics tomorrow in Game 7 at home. And then I like the Cavs in 5. I don't think the Cavs sweep them. If the Wizards win, I like the Cavs in 5 as well. Same reason why, just too much talent. And I want to transition into my next topic. Why I'm saying Cavs in 5, Warriors in 5. I've heard this a lot on Sports Talk Radio this week. Is the lack of parity in the NBA right now bad for the game? Yes or no? The answer to me is a hard no. Now, in the 80s, it was Magic and Larry Bird. In the 90s, it was Michael Jordan against the world. And now, it's LeBron against the world. This isn't some new thing. Yes, I will concede it is a little bit disheartening to see the lack of talent and lack of effort. Not effort, but lack of fight that the Raptors and the Pacers and the Jazz and the Blazers were able to put up. I understand that back in the day, Michael Jordan had his fights in the Eastern Conference with Patrick Ewing and the Knicks and Reggie Miller and the Pacers and whatnot. But let me propose this. Let's take this out for a spin. Let's take this out for a ride. Yes, Michael Jordan did have tougher competition in the Eastern Conference than LeBron James has had the last few years. However, he also had a lot easier competition in the NBA Finals, so doesn't it even out? For example, the Utah Jazz were a fantastic team. Those are probably the best teams Jordan ever played. LeBron James played a 73-win team last year. This year, he's playing a team that won 73 last year and then went out and got one of the 5 greatest offensive talents in the history of the sport. So, yes, LeBron's cruising in the East, but he's also running into a juggernaut in the NBA Finals. I'm sorry, with all due respect to Karl Malone and John Stockton, they're not as good as the Spurs teams LeBron James played in the NBA Finals 3 times. Come on, those Spurs teams were juggernauts. They were juggernauts. Obviously, the Dallas Mavericks were an exception, but let's not also forget that in LeBron's Miami Heat days, he beat a Bulls team that won 62 games. He ended the Boston Celtics, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett era. He played a Pacers team that won 60-plus games. He beat a Hawks team with the Cavs that won 60-plus games. I mean, it's not like he's dodging them. It's not like this is boxing and he's choosing who he fights. This is who he's being served. And with the Warriors, I really think the Utah Jazz and LA Clippers and San Antonio Spurs and Houston Rockets are quality clubs. They're just so much above everybody else. And that's where it gets a little bit dicey. Because, Kevin Durant went there, and that sucks. That's where it gets a little bit dicey. But what are you going to do? This is how it is. And for me, as a fan of the game, I'm such a fan of the sport, and I'm not speaking for anyone here. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm such a fan of the sport where, to me, I could just find ways to entertain myself throughout the regular season by looking at different stuff and saying, hey, this is an up-and-comer, this guy's good, and watching a series like the Wizards and Celtics. Yes, I know in the grand scheme of things it's meaningless. They won't beat Cleveland, but it's still fun to watch, and then be ready to go come June for the heavyweight battle. Like, to me, that's what sports is about, man. I love underdog stories. They're cute. They're great. They're cuddly. They're like your puppy, but come on. You're telling me that, come June, when it's LeBron and Kyrie up against Durant, Curry, Draymond, and Clay, you're not going to have a big thing of popcorn with your computer out saying, oh, yeah. You're telling me that when Messi and Ronaldo match up in El Clasico, you're just not like, wait a second. I'll pay the rest of my life savings to watch this every goddamn day, because that's what sport's about. The unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. And that's what we're going to get in the NBA Finals, and that's great for sports. We want to know who the best team in the world is. Is LeBron James the greatest player of all time? We'll find out. I think he is. I think he already is. But that's the type of stuff that we get. And people forget, the NBA was a struggling product in the 70s. It was a struggling product. Tape delayed, NBA Finals. People didn't want to watch it live. It was a struggling product. What got them out of the doldrums? A rivalry between two giants by the names of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. What elevated the game to new heights that it's never seen before? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. This is just elevating the game even more. Superstar, star power, heavyweights, titans, colossal battles. That's what NBA basketball is about, and that's why I have no problem with Cleveland and Golden State. With that being said, it would be nice if teams like the Toronto Raptors would get out of their shell a little bit, win a game or two. Kyle Lowry, you want $205 million? Step up. So that's what I have to say about that. I really don't think that this is bad for the game of basketball. I really don't think it's bad for the sport. I think, if anything, it's good for it. Because I know I can't wait. I'm ready. I'm ready for Cleveland and Golden State. Just start now. Last thing I want to get into before I call it quits is a good stream. I'm having fun. I enjoy it. I can't wait to get back uploading this week. I promise I will. Little soccer. I try and incorporate a little soccer in every one of my videos. Shout out and congratulations to Chelsea for winning the Premier League. Second time in 3 years. Very weird. They won it dominatingly 2 years ago. Then last year they were flirting with relegation. Then this year they get a new coach, win the league. They have the most talented side in the league. Well-deserved champions. And congratulations. I think the Premier League is a watered-down, horrible, mediocre soccer product at this point because there's no giants. I get it. Everybody's even. Well, just so you know, Celta Vigo, they're in La Liga. They came in and they should have beat Manchester United in the Europa League final. They're 12th in La Liga. I'm so sick of hearing about, the La Liga, there's no balance. It's so top-heavy, blah, blah, blah. Sevilla's won the Europa 3 years in a row. They won't win it this year. Atletico Madrid makes the Champions League final or semifinal every year. Celta Vigo's in 12th freaking place. They almost won the Europa. Deportivo, they're a 16th place team. They beat Barcelona this year at home, and it's probably going to cost them the league. Enough of this crap. Okay, congratulations to Chelsea. The best league in the world is in Spain, and it ain't even close. With that being said, let's talk about La Liga and their race. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time, both Real Madrid and Barcelona will be in action. Barcelona travels to the Canary Islands to face Las Palmas in what will be a very tricky test. Whereas Real Madrid will play at home against Sevilla, a quality side. Sevilla beat them in Sevilla this year already, so very capable. Here's the scenario. Real Madrid and Barcelona are tied on points, but Real Madrid have an extra game in hand, meaning if Real Madrid has 3 games left, including tomorrow, Barca have 2 games left. All Real Madrid have to do, their last 3 games, win 2, draw 1. They're league champions for the first time since 2012. Barcelona must win their last 2 games. And then in the last 3 games for Real Madrid, hope that they either lose 1 or draw 2, which would make Barcelona league champions. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd probably say Real Madrid's about 85% favorites. The only thing I will say is all 3 of their remaining games are tricky. There is no gimmies. At home against Sevilla is not a gimme 3 points. They will have to earn that. They will. Then they travel to Celta Vigo, who I just spoke of, who's 12th in La Liga, but a very tough test, and beat Barcelona in Celta Vigo earlier this season. And then they go to Malaga, another team that beat Barcelona at home this season. You know what I'm just realizing? This stream isn't doing anything kind to Barcelona. Boy, they lose a lot of games on the road this year. Oh, Jesus. So all 3 of those teams are very capable of at least giving Real Madrid a game. Real Madrid is coming off of eliminating Atletico Madrid in the Champions League semifinals. It wasn't a good performance by them in the second leg. They actually lost the game but advanced on aggregate score. Well-deserved. Atletico Madrid put up a good performance. Big goal by Isco, who in my opinion is just, if there was an award, in basketball you have like the most improved player, which really isn't about improvement. It's about just coming out of nowhere. It would be Isco. Isco has taken his game to another level. He would be somebody that I would put in my World 11 right now. That's how great I think that young fella is. And Juventus took care of business in the semifinals against Monaco, winning their second leg. I believe they won 2-0 as well, 4-0 total. And thanks to Dani Alves, Juventus scored 4 goals in the tie. Dani Alves, former Barcelona right back, had 3 assists and 1 cracking goal. And Barcelona decided this offseason, let's not bring him back. Why? We don't need him. You goddamn right you do. Messi begged Dani Alves to come back last year. He begged him. Dani Alves said, they're not paying me, Leo. They're not paying me. They don't want me here. But I want you here, Danny. I want you here. So he came back last year. Leo tried the same thing again. Danny said, I love you, Leo. You're the best, but I'm moving on. They don't respect me. Leo said, please, Danny, please, come back. We can't play without you. I need you. I need you to assist me. Danny said, I'm moving on. Leo said, we're in big trouble. He wasn't lying. Dani Alves has been one of the best players in the Champions League this year. I will not talk about the Juventus Real Madrid Champions League final yet because I'll have time next week to do so. But boy, you want to talk about a final that's exactly deserving of the 2 teams that belong in there. I criticized Real Madrid last year because I thought their road was too easy. They played Wolfsburg, for God's sakes, in the quarterfinals, and Manchester City, a goofy Premier League team, in the semifinals. But this year they earned it, playing Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals and Atletico Madrid in the semifinals. They've earned the right to have a chance to be the first team ever to repeat as Champions League champions. And Juventus, the team I originally predicted at the start of the Champions League to win. Who have they beaten? Oh, just Barcelona. Just Barcelona. They manhandled them. So it's going to be very fun to watch. I look forward to it. But like I said, I don't want to preview that. It's going to be great. With that being said, hopefully as a Barcelona fan, I really hope that Barcelona can find a way to get lucky and creep into the league, or Real Madrid just drops the Champions League so Leo Messi can get his deserved 6th Ballon d'Or, because he's been so much better than everybody else this year, including Ronaldo. Ronaldo's had 2 really great games, and they were 3. He's had 3 really great games, and they were consecutive, and they were in the Champions League knockout stages. He deserves loads of credit for that, and I gave him his credit last week. But Leo Messi's been unbelievable in pretty much every game except for like 3 the entire year. He's setting goal-scoring records every time he steps out on the pitch, and he's playing midfield, and he deserves his 6th Ballon d'Or because he is by far the best player in the world and by far the greatest player in the history of the game. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. With that being said, I want to close up. We're approaching 30 minutes here. That's pretty long. I hope you guys are listening. I really do love talking about sports and really do love enjoying this. I hope that after the conference finals and the NBA finals, where I'll be uploading a lot, we can get some growth to our channel, to our, like I said, our sister channel, which is TPK Daily, a channel that I really want to kind of make entertaining. Our other channel is amazing, and it's Kobe, who's my partner. He's doing just a terrific job, but that type of channel it's suited for him, and it's going amazing because it's informative, it's thought out, it's smart. This is a type of channel that we both agree we want to make a little bit funner, a little bit more funny, entertaining, which is, up my alley. So I really hope that, in the next couple of weeks we can see some growth. And I appreciate you guys if you guys are watching and staying through this. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Shout out to Ian Happ and my Chicago Cubs. Ian Happ got called up today. He's making his major league debut. I look forward to watching it and gambling on it. And hope everybody has a great weekend. I enjoyed this.